Welcome everybody to another episode of Puro Pinche Sports. Jay, don't look at me like that, bro. Don't laugh at me like that every time.
That was good.
Every time. Okay, so y'all don't know. Welcome back, Jesse Santos, my boxing expert, my MMA expert, not my kickball expert, that's for sure. I'll tell you that.
No kickball for this guy.
Welcome back. But every time we do an episode, whether it's been video or if it's been like just audio recorded, this man laughs at me every time. And if this was the old intro, it'd be so much worse.
Just over the top old intro.
You know what, man? Fuck it. Welcome to Puro Pinche Sports. I hope y'all ears didn't go out in that shit.
About to get a viewer discretion advised with all that tongue.
Right. Well, anyways, brother, of course I have you here because of the specific topics that you're a master at. As the people who saw last time you were here, or the first time you were here on video, you're a boxing expert, you're a jiu-jitsu expert, and why not talk about some MMA and boxing? So, of course, last week on Wednesday, April 7th, we had the debut of one championship on cable television. One on TNT, one. That was the name of the show. Featured two former UFC champions. The first fight, awkward finish, if I do say so myself. Eddie Alvarez gets himself disqualified 1 minute into the fight against his opponent, Yuri Lapicus. I don't know how the fuck to say it, so whatever.
Okay. All right. Okay.
My bad. Bro, this fight was in Singapore. Leave me alone, okay? I don't know. I don't know what to tell the time was over there when they had that fight. Jay, you saw the fight, I assume. What did you think of the whole shit?
I think it was kind of some bullshit, I'm going to be honest. Another overselling. I saw him punch, yes, but it was like more in the rear of the neck. So I'm like, I don't think he should have got DQ'd for it. But, of course, it's all about easy money, right? You can get a DQ and still get paid for it. Fuck Eddie Alvarez, right? That's kind of how it went down.
So, I mean, you were, like we said, you've been training boxing. They don't want you hitting the back of the head either. But where he was landing was, like you said, like about the neck, maybe right below the ear area, not exactly the back. Where distinctively do they have the rule set for as back of the head? Where exactly?
And that's that gray area, right? Where, yeah, you're fighting and he's punching, but at the same time you're turning your head so you don't get your face hit. So you got to know at some point in time you're probably going to get punched in the back of the head. I mean, kind of suck that shit up. Honestly, you're a MMA fighter. Like, you should just be able to eat that and whatever, go on.
And what about the ref? Like, I mean, I know he threw the warnings out, but like you said, like, of course, a fighter is going to move his head to protect himself. Is Eddie just supposed to just, like, not move? Because they're against the cage. Like, they have hardly any movement for him to, like, move to side control or even full mount. So what was he supposed to do in that instance? Just get up and hit him again?
I guess at this point they were probably hoping, or not even hoping, they were probably just wanting them to just stand up. Which I think if they would have just stood up, would have probably solved that problem. But that's also ground control. You shouldn't have to stand up just because somebody doesn't want to get punched in the head. If you want to get punched in the head, don't be a fighter.
And as controversial as everything's been, I mean, we saw this fight. I mean, they brought out a stretcher for this man, for Yuri. A stretcher. I'm sorry, but that ground and pound was not enough for me to believe that he should have been carted out of there. I mean, those hits were soft.
Not that serious.
No.
What was it, 2 weeks ago? You could see somebody literally get kneed in their face from kneeling position. Mm-hmm. And he didn't go out on a stretcher. He walked out.
Yeah, man. And I mean, speaking of that, let's actually go back to that fight between Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan. because there's been a little more news since Aljamain Sterling is going to be out, for a few months because he's going to have neck surgery. I don't think he says it's not necessarily the knee. He's had this issue for about 10 years now, supposedly, but he's now going to get it fixed. And I know this is not off the top question because I didn't put it on the list. Do you think he should be stripped of the title? Because I see a lot of argument for people that want him to be stripped from the title.
Because he's not going to be fighting for that amount of time, or
so he's not going to. So he says he'll be back by October, but people want him to be stripped because they don't think he's a rightful champion.
I mean, he is a title holder. The UFC doesn't post fights every 2-3 months. So I mean, if he's the champion, just let him keep it. Honestly, if he fights Peter Yan again, I mean, it's game over. He's gonna lose that title anyway. So let him keep it for the amount of time. I don't see an issue with it. I could see it if he's just ducking fights after fight after fight because he's like, oh, my neck hurts or whatever, the knee got me and I can't fight, then I get that, strip him of it. But if he's legitimately getting surgery, let the man keep it. He's got to fix his body.
It's been about a month since he won the title. We're going to have TJ Dillashaw back. We're going to have he's going to fight Corey Sandhagen next, and then the winner of that fight's supposed to get a title shot.
Or is he going to be all juiced up again?
I think Dillashaw's going to be all juiced up again. That man talking a lot of shit for the guy who fucking stuck needles up his ass.
Okay.
I'm just saying, bro. Don't talk shit. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't talk shit until you got caught with the roids, all right? You just can't. No matter what type it was, EPO, HGH, whatever it was, you can't talk mad shit when you get caught. But anyways, because that fight between Yan and Aljamain Sterling ended in a controversial, well, not really controversial, it was intentional knee strike to the head. One championship does not have that issue. One championship says you can finish fights with illegal knees. And in fact, that's how possibly the greatest flyweight champion in the UFC, got finished. Demetrius Johnson getting KO'd by Adriano Moraes in the second round. Your thoughts on that fight?
I mean, I'm sure if they allow that type of shit, they allow, PEDs as well. So
let me ask though, like, they allowed the knee strikes. Does not make it go more controversial or why the fuck they DQ'd Eddie Alvarez the fight before that?
Well, and that's just kind of where I'm seeing it as, like, why are you pick and choosing your stuff? You know what I mean? Like, I get a neck punch or a behind the head punch could be dangerous, right? But I'm pretty sure a knee to the fucking face while you're down is a little more dangerous than a punch.
I mean, Demetrius Johnson looked good. I mean, he was the quicker fighter in my opinion. He was backing up Moraes through most of the fight. Then he just gets caught with a nice left hand, and then out of nowhere that knee that he doesn't really expect because, let's be honest, yes, I think that that was his third or fourth fight and with one. And he's thrown some knees, but I mean, he's not used to taking the knees from the ground.
No, he's not. And I think kind of as a joke, but not as a joke, I'm almost positive if they're okay with that type of shit, they're probably okay with people taking whatever they want.
I don't know, man. This isn't Ryzen. I mean, they have strict weight conditions over there. You apparently, if you're, let's say me and you, right? You walk around what, about 260? Yeah, you walk around. So they would say that, okay, because that's your walking weight, you can't fight light heavyweight because that's too much weight for you to cut. So you're mandated to fight heavyweight. You don't think like if you I know Ryzen. Well, okay, I shouldn't say I know, right? I know Ryzen. They pretty much like love the pride rules and all that shit. That's why they have Fedor. That's why they have other shit going on over there. One championship is a little more stricter. But again, I don't understand the whole back to the head rule, but not the knee rule. I mean, and soccer kicks. I think soccer kicks are actually legal over there. And god damn, you imagine a punt kick?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, it just seems, I don't know if they don't like Eddie Alvarez. Who knows? But it seems to me like they kind of they've kind of black sheeped him because he got fucked over on that.
He was one of their poster boys. It was Demetrius Johnson. It was Eddie Alvarez, Sage Northcutt. We all saw how Sage Northcutt got blasted in his first fight and won, and pretty much we haven't seen him since. It's crazy. And maybe it's the mindset of the owners, Westerners. We just don't like them as much here. I don't know. Everything's different. But Adriano Moraes is the undisputed one flyweight champion. Let me ask you, Demetrius Johnson's never won the title at 135. In one championship, flyweight is 135. Should he be moving down back to 125, which is their strawweight division?
I mean, I think he's okay, honestly. The way he looked in that fight, minus him getting
blasted with the knee.
Sleep. I think he looked good overall, like you were saying. He looked fast. He looked comfortable. Maybe could have been the nerves. Who knows? I don't know what he could have been going through at that point in time, but I'm sure he's good at that weight. I wouldn't move. He seems comfortable at that weight. I wouldn't do a big cut or a big increase. It just seems like he's fine there.
Okay. And of course, because he's actually an advocate for rule changes like in the UFC and in the US, Demetrius Johnson believes that grounded knee strike should be legal. Do you believe that should be the case as well? I mean, it's ironic, right? He got blasted by a knee, and before and after the fight, he says, "I would rather see the UFC and the whole, commission all come together and say, let's make it legal."
Nah, man. I mean, if I'm just gonna if I have to choose one side, I'm just gonna go no, because you're asking for somebody to break some shit. A while back, you saw a guy go for a takedown, and another guy threw a flying knee and broke his skull. So if it's a non-moving target, bro, it's easy to break something, and your legs are so much stronger than your arms.
Are we talking about the Michael Venom Page fight?
I think so,
yeah. I think I remember showing that highlight after McGregor quickly won. I think you were there, right? The McGregor when he beat Cerrone.
Yep.
And then Jesse Mendes' wife was like, "Why did you order this fight? It was such a quick fight." And so I showed other fights, including that nasty knockout. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to me like you're just asking for extra injuries. I mean, I do want to see like brawls, right? I want to see people fight and blood and all that shit. You want to see that because that's entertaining. But I don't want people to be seriously injured either. Like in the fact that you don't have to. You can still have a good fight without having a crazy knee to the face while somebody's down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think we're going to see some bloody wars next week in UFC 261 between the two women title fights, and I wouldn't say so much about the Usman Masvidal fight. I don't know if that's going to be much blood on that one. But the two women fight, I believe they're going to go to war. Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas, Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. Should be a good fight. But that's not what we're here talking about. The next thing we're about to talk about, Jay, some boxing. Some things that you really love, something you're passionate about. And the first one I'm going to start with, Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. The fight takes place next month, Cinco de Mayo weekend at the TNT Stadium. Maybe we should go buy tickets, right? It's going to be for all the fucking titles in the world because they have like 20 fucking titles. But anyways, how do you think that fight's going to go down, and what's your anticipation for it?
I'm going to make my decision now, and I'm not changing it. I think I'm going to go Canelo always.
Yep.
I do like Billy Joe, honestly, man. He's a good fighter. He's got good hand speed. He's pretty strong. But Canelo has, like, the most unbelievable head movement I've ever seen. Like, he's probably going to dodge 90% of this dude's punches because of his head movement. And honestly, I think it'll be a good test for him. But I think Canelo's going to kind of one-sided this shit because Canelo is a whole different animal now.
Is this Canelo's biggest threat since Triple G?
I think Triple G would probably be worse, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I think that was the harder fight. because both of them have fucking chins of granite. And I mean, so does Billy Joe, to be honest. But I think overall, I think Triple G was probably still worse.
Was Triple G robbed in the first fight?
I mean, I guess I could see it going both ways, right? Like I could see people saying that Triple G won the first one or whatever. I could see it both ways. I think the decision was fine.
Oh, interesting. Everyone else found that very controversial. So I'm intrigued by your statement there. But hey, to each his own, right? What does Billy Joe Saunders? What's his strengths to beat Canelo? I mean, what can he do to really implement his skill set to really dethrone probably the best boxer in about that weight class since Floyd Mayweather and others?
I mean, there's not a lot that he can do. I mean, you're just gonna have to fight smart, right? You can't be. There's a couple of fights that I watched that he's very, very aggressive and he pushes, but Canelo's very good in those back up against the rope situations. Like I said, his head movement is really good, so you'll end up missing a lot of shots that you would normally land on somebody else. But if he fights smart and he picks and chooses his punches, maybe works that jab a little more, I think he might stand his own. But Canelo's fast, man. He's got speed and power, which is kind of a rarity nowadays.
All right. So what is your pure prediction? I mean, you said Canelo, but what do you got? Decision, knockout? What are we going with?
It'll probably go decision. I don't think it'll be a knockout because I think both are going to be fighting more the points game.
Okay.
Which is smart for both of them because if you go in trying to fight the knockout game, you may tire yourself out. So it'll probably be a points fight, which I'm okay with too. Boxing is always exciting because, I mean, look at them both.
Okay. I'm actually thinking Canelo 10th round with the finish.
Out cold?
No, I'm not gonna say out cold. I think I'll give Saunders the respect for his durability for what he has, but I think the ref is just gonna call it. It's not gonna be out cold. I think he's gonna get knocked down maybe 2 or 3 times, and the ref's just gonna call it. I don't think he's gonna feel comfortable continuing the fight, and rightfully so. Right? You just don't know. So it should be good.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna choose Canelo pretty much all day.
All right, respect on that. And Jay, the big showdown that we really want to see, but hasn't been given a date yet. The heavyweight showdown between 2 Brits. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, for all 15 million titles. When do you expect this fight to happen later? It's confirmed this year, but when do you expect it to happen? And who do you got? And what do you think is holding up this, the announcement of the date? Money.
It's got to be money. I mean, obviously, they're paid a lot anyway. The UFC is 1/10 of what they get paid. You know what I mean?
A fifth, I would say. So sad. It's so sad to UFC.
So I mean, it's got to be money. And Tyson Fury is again one of them guys who's got that head movement. And I think if Anthony Joshua goes into this fight kind of playing it off like, oh, whatever, I'm bigger, I'm leaner, all this stuff, he's gonna get knocked out again. And Tyson Fury is he's definitely gonna exploit some stuff that I think Joshua does, which is really leave his body open. It's funny that we're talking about this because I just watched a video of Tyson Fury kind of moving his head, and then he uppercuts to the body on this. I don't even remember the fighter, but he uppercuts him to the body, and I have a feeling that's going to happen a lot in this fight.
We saw, Fury finish his last fight against Wilder, tore him to pieces, and then, his ringside fucking threw in the towel and said, no more, no more. Do you think Anthony Joshua has matured since his Andy Ruiz fights? where he lost to the big fella and then won it back. Do you think he's matured enough to really take this fight as serious as everyone should be in this situation?
Matured, yes, because he was not the underdog in the Ruiz fight. There was no way in hell he was the underdog. He should have obliterated him from the get. He played Andy Ruiz as a damn fool, thinking that he was gonna be an easy win, and ended up getting his ass knocked out. So I think he's grown. Obviously, whatever loss you take, you grow from it. You know where you messed up, what you need to fix, shit like that. And obviously, he's a great boxer, so he's gonna have to fight Fury different than he's fought anybody because, right, they wanted him and Wilder to fight.
Yeah.
I don't really see that going one way or the other because Wilder's a wild puncher anyway. So he throws these big bombs and then look it. He fought somebody who knows how to box. Tyson Fury ate his ass up and spit him out.
Go ahead.
I think it would probably be the same outcome, but now that you're fighting somebody who's an actual boxer like Tyson Fury, it's going to be a hard thing for him because he's, he fought Klitschko, did great. Tyson Fury's different, man. You can see him. He moves at a different pace than a normal heavyweight.
I mean, he's lost a lot of weight since it's not even that long ago, just a good number of years ago, like maybe 3 or 4. Big, heavy fella was Tyson Fury, out of shape, and now he's gotten lean. He's gotten in really great shape, and just he's fast. He's powerful. I mean, his head movement, his footwork is, it's different from most heavyweights. Most heavyweights don't have the footwork he does or the head movement sometimes, because sometimes these heavyweights, they just believe, you know what, I'm big, I'm strong, I could eat these hands and I can, dish it out as well. Tyson Fury is a different animal, and this is the reason why he's the current lineal champion. How do you see that fight going on? How do you see it, I guess, in a finish, the same way Fury has finished his last 3 fights? Or do you see Anthony Joshua able to survive all 12?
I don't think it's going to go all 12 rounds. I don't. I think it'll probably go 8 or 9. And I think Fury's going to come out on top on this one.
Okay.
If I'm going to be honest, I just think the head movement, and you're right, he's lost a shit ton of weight from the Wilder fight. He's really lean. Obviously, he doesn't have the same body type as Joshua. Joshua is a big, he's
beefy, meaty man.
Yeah. So I think overall, Fury's probably going to win this one just because of his skill. The only thing that I think Joshua has that could bring him back is his power. But Tyson Fury's no slouch either. He's got some strength too. So I don't know, man. I think overall it'll probably be Tyson Fury. Probably TKO. Makes
sense, man. Just there's some good boxing fights about to go down real soon, and I can't wait. I might have forgotten if this is true or not. I think they're also booking Wilder versus Ruiz, if I'm not mistaken. Not for that card, but I think later on, they want to do Wilder versus Ruiz. Coincidentally, the 2 guys who have lost to those guys, and I'm forgetting who it is right now. But Andy Ruiz has been training with Canelo, right? So how do you, just quick swerve, how do you see that fight if it comes into fruition? How do you see that fight going down?
Andy Ruiz lost a lot of weight too.
Okay.
A lot of weight.
He's no longer the jiggly man.
I would probably give that one to Ruiz if I'm gonna be honest. Wow. I don't really like Wilder, so I'm a little biased when it comes to that.
Okay.
But I would probably give that one to Ruiz.
Do you think Wilder's confidence is shot since the Fury fight?
Hell no.
Okay.
He's a cocky fighter regardless, right? So he's gonna be, I'm the bronze bomber, blah 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 bullshit. You're gonna come out in your whole fucking Darth Vader outfit and get your ass beat again. I just think he's more of a I rely on my strength than actually using skill. And nobody, I won't say nobody, but a lot of people nowadays don't throw overhand rights like he does, which I don't like because it looks so sloppy. When you could just throw a really, really good straight or hook like Joshua or Fury does, and it's just Ruiz is starting to pick up that from Canelo, obviously.
Trading with Canelo is going to give you a lot of upside, because why not learn from one of the greats, even if he's on a way lighter weight class than you? Why not? Fuck it, right? I mean, teach you a lot.
Regardless of weight, it's boxing, so
exactly.
He needs to learn some shit, but I think it would go Ruiz.
Deontay Wilder, leave your Apex Legends fucking exotic outfit at home. You don't need it. Don't be firing your damn cornerman anymore. They saved your ass. You're lucky. It could have been a whole lot worse if they had not saved your ass from getting, well, I mean, your ass got clapped either way, but, don't be firing your cornerman. Could have been worse.
You could have been sleeping instead of standing up.
Right, exactly. You would have been stretched out. You would have been just like Yuri. And Yuri took a lot lighter shots than you did.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
I'm not okay. He hit me the back of the head. I'm not okay.
It's too soon for that, bro. It's too soon. It just happened.
That's Eddie's problem, not mine.
Wow.
I mean, it's a fight game, bro. That shit, was not even talked about after that fight because they talked about WrestleMania.
If we're gonna talk about fights of the year, WrestleMania, you might as well. It's just
Bad
a big
Bunny.
Bad Bunny's a thing. What the fuck is going on, man?
I don't know, but I enjoyed it. I'll say that. I enjoyed it. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna review it or anything like that. I enjoyed it. Anyways, well, Jay, that's all I have for today. I can't wait for the fights that are about to happen. UFC 261, UFC 262, the Canelo Saunders fight. I'll invite you to all of it, of course. Hopefully you're free those weekends. You can come and watch it. If not, enjoy the time with your family. I know you got value of that shit as much as you can.
Yeah.
Where can they find you at?
Jesse 4B11 on Instagram. Again, if you want the work on some Call of Duty, Chucky Alarms 96, come get the hands whenever you like.
He is on the box, guys. You will find him there. Do not look for Jeremy the Jezza. Do not look for Mr. Undercheese. Look for Chucky Alarms 96. He will give you the work.
Oh my God.
Good times. Anyways, you can follow the podcast at Pudo Pinche Sports Podcast on Instagram, at PPS_podcast on Twitter. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube, guys. Do truly appreciate it. We are Pudo Pinche Sports, and we are out.